Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome back to 5-9 Gaming. It is Saturday, so of course you know what that means. It is time for the Dokkan Battle Podcast. Once again, we are here with episode 56, Time to Make the Donuts, and I am your host, the Masked Ningen. Of course, as always, I am not alone. I am joined by some very special guests. So first up, let me say hello to Minato. How's it going?
Hello, I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good, good. Also joining us, we have the homie Goresh.
What's up, everybody? Happy to be here. Glad to finally be on the verge of hero stuff being revealed.
And then we also have a very special guest this week. You will know him from our fan card series, but this is his first appearance on the Dokkan Battle Podcast. Say hello to Tystra. How's it going, my dude?
What is going on, my dudes? Hey, guys. Thanks for having me for my first one. It's going to be awesome.
Good, good. So yeah, the title, of course, is a reference from Xenoverse. Shout out to anyone who picked up on that, because of course, one of the main topics for this week is all about our boy, the assassin from Universe 6, Hit. Because Hit has not only got a new card in the form of an LR alongside Goku, but we also have the Easy A for Tech Hit. Now, obviously Tech Hit has been a bit of a meme for a while, potentially one of the worst Dokkan Fest exclusive leaders. And as soon as Kale and Caulifla were announced as the new Dokkan Fest for this celebration on JP, immediately we saw posts of people probably not even being serious, thinking it was going to happen, suggesting that, hey, look, Tech Hit could get an easy EA in this celebration. And, well, it happened. So we'll start off with Minato, since of course you are the JP main over here on today's episode. So tell us all about Tech Hit. Is he good now?
Yes, he's very, very good, just to put it bluntly. I actually really like how the unit's designed to work on his teams. He's very good with the new LR. And overall, he's just a fun unit to use as well. He just puts up big numbers. So if you like stuff like that, then have fun. That's all I could say.
And so, yeah, Goresh, the global first Christmas unit of Hit, got his Easy A on JP. What do you think of this Easy A, and where would you rank him among TUR Easy A's?
I definitely think they did him justice for sure. I mean, all facets of this unit are crazy. Leader skill's really good. Super attack effect is solid. Passive's ridiculous. He's on a decent amount of teams, and his links aren't bad for who he wants to be linked up alongside. So I don't really see a negative to this unit. Obviously, the one thing people are going to point out is that he's not really a slot 1 unit, which I don't think is that big of a deal because he's going to get all the defense on Super anyway. But for me, I actually do really like Hit as a character. He's probably my second favorite character introduced in Super besides Beerus. Yeah, I mean, I think they just did him justice. He's a pretty interesting unit, a lot of stunning going on. But, you know, even if you don't get the stuns off, he's still able to defend now, as opposed to prior to his EZA where he actually was not able to. So the one thing I will say, though, about this guy getting an EZA is this makes me scratch my head even harder why they didn't give Namek Goku an EZA during the 350 million download celebration, because now I don't get it. What are they waiting for?
Would you argue that Tech Hit needed one more than Namek Goku? Or
Yes, I would say he definitely needed one more. So that might be the reason why they decided to push this one out faster and expedite it. But I just think in terms of like the theme of the download celebration and everything that went on, it would have helped every single unit that came out way more if that Goku got an EZA, but whatever. I think a lot of the reason why they decided to put this guy ahead of, you know, a lot of the other category leaders for EZA's purposes is just because a lot of people have been voicing how much they don't like this character, or not this character, but this unit specifically, right? Tech Hit. You know, he was all right when he came out. But he was aged very badly just because of the way that he's designed. Like, his pre-EZA form was supposed to just be you stun, and hopefully you don't take a hit because he could not eat any damage. But yeah, I'm definitely glad that the way that they designed this character, in terms of how he's ranking among the top 10 EZA TURs, I mean, he's got to be in the top 3 at the very least. So in terms of, I haven't used him personally, obviously, because I'm not a JP player, but I would say top 3, yeah, at least. So.
Yeah, because he definitely, I feel like, because he's come up a lot, and like I said, when we sort of introed this segment, he's been a bit of a meme for a while as being such a bad unit. But when he very first came out, I remember everybody was hyped, because he came out just before that meta shift into being all about defense. So he looked really good as a global first for a few weeks, and then it was all downhill from there.
I mean, it's because also his animations were cool. Like his super attack looks cool still to this day. So I mean, I'm just glad that he's actually like a usable option for a lot of his teams now.
Yeah, he's definitely looking pretty good. And then Tystra, from what you've seen, what are your thoughts on Tech Hit?
The fact that this guy got so much of a glow up is fantastic. It's one of the two units for me that I hated at first, but then of course the EZA did better. The first one being Blue Vegito Physical, and I'm really excited for when it comes to global, but I have him rainbowed on JP as well. So I definitely need to get him EZA'd completely before I give a full-blown explanation of how I feel. But overall, yeah, I have to agree mostly with Goresh on this. He got a massive, massive boost. He's a great unit for a great character in the series, and I can't wait to use him both on JP and global.
Yeah,
One other thing I want to point out, sorry about that, Ningen, is that I see a lot of people think that he's not as great outside of the Universe 6 category team. I just want to say that's not true because he counts himself as Universe 6 category ally. And they only gave him that part of his passive because he doesn't link really well with the other Saiyans on the team, like Hell and Caulifla, for example. They'll share like, one or two links, but they gave him that extra 20% attack and defense because he's the best leader for the team because it's either him or Kefla, if you go by just the Universe 6 buff. So you could just use him as a floater on the team, and that's kind of why they gave him that part of the passive, I feel like, along with the stun chance. But he's very good for sure. I just wanted to kind of point that out there because I see a lot of almost kind of misconception about that.
Yeah, I've seen some screenshots of him not on a Universe 6 team, and he does still look pretty good. So, yeah, as I said in the intro, that was, of course, not the only card that we got to do with Hit arrive on JP. We got the new LR, the Part 2 LR banner for the celebration, which was a Hit and God Goku, which, funnily enough, last week we did speculate on what the Part 2 LR could be, and obviously it's a card that a lot of people have been saying that they wanted to see for a long time, but Goresh, you called it. We got ourselves a LR, God Goku, and Hit. So give us your first impressions. I know you obviously haven't got to get your hands on him yet as a global player, but what are your thoughts about LR, Hit, and God Goku?
He actually reminds me a lot of the Vegeta Goku exchange unit we just got in Part 2 of 350 million download celebration. They have sort of the same skeleton to them. They both get ki, right? I mean, Hit and God Goku get ki on super attack, whereas the Vegeta just gets ki for being there. They both have similar, attack and defense numbers, and they're both units that want a super before they get hit. So I mean, they fulfill the same role on their teams. Obviously, the main difference between the two is I probably think this Hit and God Goku have a way better leader skill, than the Vegeta and Goku do. Their super attack effect is ridiculous. 50% raise on attack and defense and a 50% chance to stun. Like they really went out of their way, I think, with this character to make them a solid option for the Universe Survival Saga. And the only way to do that is to make them broken because the team is broken, right?
Yeah.
The one thing I will say about this unit is their teams are limited. So, and this is actually a point that I brought up last week as well, where I really wanted this unit to come out, but I was just so scared about how their categories would hold up and where they'd actually be used. And that's just a common theme we've seen among all these Joined Forces units that are like one Saiyan and then like one non-Saiyan, like Goku and Piccolo have the same issue. But I feel like they definitely did this correctly because even on the Universe Survival Saga team where you have all these crazy characters, Evolution Blue Vegeta, UI Goku, I guess both UI Gokus, like the LR Jiren, all that stuff, this character is still like a top tier choice for that team. So they're definitely really good in short events with that ridiculous super attack effect. They're good in long events because they have that active skill, right? So they're just going to be good everywhere on the limited amount of teams that they're on. I think Legendary Existence is a good slot for them as well because you can do the hit rotation there. The high speed battle category, which is the new one that they introduced, I feel like that's a good slot for them as well. I mean, anywhere where you can use this unit next to Tech Hit, where they share 6 out of 7 links, is going to be a really nice place for them. So overall, really, really good.
Yeah, it feels like a good idea because, as you mentioned, when we talked about these sort of Joined Forces units last week who are very different characters, and so very much hinders them when it comes to categories. I think it was definitely a good idea to have them bring a new category with them, because then obviously that's another team that they can be on. So I think that definitely worked out pretty well. So Minato, our JP man, have you actually managed to pull Hit and God Goku?
Unfortunately not. I think their banner is actually pretty solid for yellow coin banner though. I haven't been able to get them, so I don't know. Maybe I'll pick them up with red coins, I guess. The issue with me and the unit is, like Goresh said, the categories, because it's like a Saiyan and just Hit, for example, are very, very wonky. They're very, very powerful though to make up for that, and especially as a third attack in the turn, they can put up very, very high attack stats. Defensively, their defense is like high enough to be a slot 1 unit, but then they get like over 100% defense extra when they attack, so it's absurd to me. I like how their active skill is designed to make it so that, while they're good with in being in short events with the stun chances and things like that, in long events when they get the active skill off, it gives them a big enough boost to make them more relevant in those type of situations. Again, my issue with them is the teams, because it's like, you can run them on the teams, but I feel like they're not necessarily a unit that's needed, especially since although they bring a new category, there's no real super battle road or legendary Goku event type of mission going on there. Though they definitely look like a very fun unit though, and if you want to summon for them, it's personally a unit I've been waiting for quite some time. This is one of the coolest moments of the Tournament of Power to me, honestly. So if I get them eventually, that'd be great. They're just really, really good though, that's for sure. I could see them being like a top 10 unit in the game easily.
They definitely seem like a unit that is very much jumps high up that list of units that are worth getting with your yellow coins when they eventually get added to the shop. So, Tystra, you said you do play both. Have you summoned for God Goku and Hit?
I did like 2 summons. I didn't get anything. I'm more free to play on my JP. But I will say that with this unit, it's the term Jack of all trades, Master of none doesn't really apply to them. In their slotted teams, they do very, very well. And I think that that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that not every unit has to be in multiple categories to be considered a good unit. Granted, the more categories that you have, the better, because the more times you could use it. But I still think that this unit in general, with its passive, with greatly raising attack and defense for 1 turn as a 50% chance, and then stunning for 2 turns at a 50% chance, that's already pretty good. And I'm also liking the fact that more units are coming out with those first and second slot and third slot kind of abilities or passives in that sense. I like that they have this difference when it comes to them. So I still like the unit. I think it's a good unit. I don't think I'm going to summon any more on it just because I value my free to play, but it's still a good unit.
So will you be saving up, or at least going slightly whale for them when they come to global?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
that's a given. I'm going for Tech Kefla anyway. I'm gonna make sure that I get them, but I'm still gonna summon for this one as well for sure.
Okay, well there you go. So the other thing that came out on JP is the weekend banner. Is back and has been updated. So, Minato, you were telling me a little bit more about this earlier, because obviously I am a global main. So let me hand it over to you, and you can explain to us what is going on with the weekend banner on JP.
Yeah, so the weekend banner obviously did get an update recently on the JP version for the celebration with Kefla. So they just kind of added some extra LRs. It goes all the way up to, I believe, LR God Goku, I believe. So on features, you can get up to those type of LRs, There's obviously the old LRs like STR Broly, physical Bardock, things like that. The most interesting thing I want to point out about this though is that the STR Super Saiyan Goku, the one that was recently returned during the 350 million download celebration, he is actually featured on that banner. So you have a pretty solid chance to get him. I actually myself did get him. So that's my first copy of him specifically. Just free summons, something to really point out, and make sure you just log in every day, do the weekend missions, and you'll be able to get a couple of summons on this banner.
Yeah, I actually didn't, even though I did quite a few summons during the download celebration. It took me 2,000 stones to pull my first copy of Frieza, and I still do not have that STR Goku, so I've been saving my weekend tickets for a while, since most of the featured units are never units that I want, so definitely something to look forward to. So like Minato said, make sure you are getting your tickets, doing your missions every day, and then summoning once the weekend rolls around. So that's really it for JP. Obviously, big hype news when it comes to Hit getting some love, getting that glow up with the EZA. But that's kind of it for JP. But on the global side, we got a lot of things that are going on and coming up very, very soon. So obviously the big main thing for global is the release of the LR Goku and Piccolo banner, the part 2 of the Gohan celebration. So Goresh, did you manage to rainbow these guys? How many stones did it take, or did you give up along the way? Tell us how it went.
I actually did rainbow them, and it was not a very pleasant journey. But this is a unit I don't think anybody should summon for this character unless you are like a die-hard early Dragon Ball / late, or I guess early Dragon Ball Z / late Dragon Ball like mega fan. This unit is just not going to be used that often, right? You're going to use them on saviors and you're going to throw them away because you're not going to use them anymore. Movie Heroes is a team that needs a new leader. I mean, I guess it depends on the new leaders we get for Movie Heroes and Full Power, because on those teams, what, are you going to use this unit linked up next to Full Power Broly? No. Are you going to use this unit next to Super Saiyan transforming Blue Gogeta? No. So where else are you going to use them, right? That's the biggest problem I have with this unit. But I am like a huge fan of this act. This is like actually like, this might sound crazy, but this active skill is one of my favorite active skills in the game in terms of like the animations and stuff like that. The OST is really cool. I just love this character, like the Goku and Piccolo teaming up stuff. Like we need one from the Raditz fight, which we'll eventually get. That'll also be one of my favorites probably. But I think, you know, if we get to a point where they're included on a team that they can link up next to another character that they're good with, like for example, Joint Forces is actually a really solid team for them because they link up really well with Goku and Frieza. They link up really well with 17 and Golden Frieza. Same thing with Krillin and Gohan too. I believe they share 5 links with all 3 of those guys. So they actually do have a decent spot on that team. It's just, you know, Joint Forces as a team is not really that comprehensive. So I struggled to find a place where they're like really, really good. But you know, if you force it, they can be good. That's what I'll say.
Tystra, so since they are global, is this did you go in for these guys?
Yeah, I went in a little bit, not too much. I probably did, I would say 250 stones because I didn't want to waste too much before Dragon Ball Heroes comes out. I didn't pull them, but I was happy to pull LR Jiren, my first copy, finally.
Ooh.
Like, it took forever to get this guy. So I was more happy about getting Jiren than the possibility of getting this unit. And it's not to say that this unit is terrible. It's just, it's like Goresh said, it's not something that you should be like going for in the sense of like utility. It's good, but it's just not something that outweighs what we've had in the past when it comes to these LR banners, in my personal opinion. So it's definitely, unless you, like you said, unless you really like, well, the old Dragon Ball Z when it first started, you know, and you're a big fan of it, I would say kind of wait, especially since, again, we do have that Dragon Ball Heroes banner coming out and the announcement here soon. So I would definitely save your stones.
Because, yeah, from, again, we've spoken about it on the previous episodes. We had the leak, well, I say the leak, the tweet from iSeriously. So if we are getting the Tech Gogeta celebration next on Global, that will, of course, come with the LR Janemba Part 2 banner. So I feel like that's the, if you're going to go in a little bit on a legendary banner, certainly for me, I would rather summon for Janemba and potentially, you know, pull these guys along the way, maybe as an unfeatured unit. But yeah, I did the same thing. I think I'm probably about 600 stones deep on the banner, and I've pulled a couple of LRs, but not them. And I think I'm kind of happy to stop there because, just like Goresh said, they are a really fun unit. I really like the animations and everything, but just like he said, there's not a huge amount of places I would really use them. So, Minato, do you have them on JP?
No, you know, the funny thing is I was going to grab them with coins to try them out, but I made a mistake, and I make sure you farm their medals for the story event because it hasn't come back at NJP. So if you do end up pulling them, say on the Janemba banner, you want to make sure you have those medals farmed up, unlike me. I have seen a lot of gameplay on them, though. They're definitely a very good unit. I would say they need like a turn or two to build up before they're really, really like 2021 type of powerful LR level. But they're very limited because of their teams, and they want a very specific setup, I feel like, because of that. I do wish their leader skill was also 150% instead of 130%, but those are really my main problems with the unit. They're good if you are able to get them in that setup, but I wouldn't say to summon for them unless you really, really need help with like beating, say, Savior Super Battle Road, which is a stage that's upcoming, or Full Power Extreme Super Battle Road, something coming soon. So if you need them specifically for those teams, I could see why, but I wouldn't really recommend it.
Yeah, and you do raise a very good point. The story event that's out at the moment, the one that you farm the STR Piccolo from, the medals that you use to awaken him, you need to use those medals as part of the awakening for this LR. And obviously this is the first time that celebration has come out. So JP is very much in that situation because the event hasn't come back. You can't do it with keys. So make sure you farm up those medals now while the event is out. And then if you do happen to pull them on a future LR banner, you won't have to wait or hope that they appear in the barbershop. So that is definitely a very good point. So the other thing, of course, to talk about with Global is the fact that we got tickets for this banner. We got the typical sort of paid for ticket, the premium ticket. Gives you 3 guaranteed SSRs. No, obviously, LRs guaranteed or anything. Goresh, I'm assuming that you went in for that?
Yeah, I did buy this. I mean, typically my advice to people is if you're willing to spend on the game, then these deals are usually very good to pick up.
Yeah.
This is really one of the only ones I would say is probably not even worth it, just because you're guaranteed 3 SSRs, but they're not even guaranteed featured. There's a lot of garbage on this banner. I would just say don't even bother for this pack. I don't think it's worth it.
Interesting. Because I think it's priced around the same. It's less than a 91 stone pack, I believe, or is it around the same?
But I think it's just not worth even summon on this banner anyway.
Yeah, true. So yeah, if you do spend on the game and you are going to summon on the banner, then it is probably worth it because it's less than it would cost you in stones to get 2 Moes, and obviously you're getting 3 SSRs instead of 2. But
if you're dead set on summoning on the banner, then yeah, this is worth it. But
yeah,
it's not worth it summoning on the banner.
Yeah, because shout out to our boy Toon who pulled Goku and Piccolo from the premium ticket. I got 5 SSRs in my Moe, but they were all random unfeatured units that I didn't need. So, Tystra, did you go in for the premium ticket?
Not to one up you there, Ningen, but I pulled 6 unfeatured SSRs.
And how many of them did you use?
None. every unit that came in was rainbowed, and I was so upset. I was like, "You've got to be kidding!"
The worst part about it is
either.
Yeah, I was gonna say the worst part is you get them off of a ticket, so you can't even trade them in for coins.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So I was like, "Yay! I got 60,000 Baba points. That's fantastic."
But yeah, the other thing is, of course, we are actually getting, or we have been getting, free tickets. So hopefully you guys haven't missed any, because obviously the banner came out a couple of days ago. But every single day, as long as you spend 50 stamina in the game, you get a free ticket to summon on the banner. I've actually seen a bunch of people posting screenshots of them using those tickets to get singles. And obviously, as you will on Twitter, you always see the people who are getting the luckiest. I've seen people single pulling LRs off of those tickets. But one thing you obviously should be aware of, if you actually save up the 10 tickets and do a multi, it's actually a GSSR multi. So I think it's probably worth saving them up for doing the multi summon. Is that what you guys are doing, or have you singled yours away?
You're just not about that single summon life, man.
I'm not.
What do I have to tell you? I would say save for the multi, but I mean, I've gotten LRs off single summons before, so you do what you want, I guess, in the end. It's just tickets.
Yep. I mean, I apply the same logic to it that I do with stones, is I don't do singles because a multi, you at least get a guaranteed SSR, whereas you can do 10 singles and get nothing, so... But there you go. I mean, I did get some good single ticket luck in the anniversary, but I'll save them up for this one. So, yeah, free tickets. Minato, JP player. A little bit jealous, I would imagine.
Yes, of course. Very, very jealous, you know.
But
would
yeah,
have been nice to have them, but...
Definitely an interesting thing for them to do. I believe this is the first time outside of a major celebration that we've gotten something like this in the terms of, like, free tickets for an LR banner. So, definitely quite interesting. So, nice to see. But... So yeah, the banner is of course one thing, but as people will often say, banners are not content. So we've got a couple of things. The major one that's out at the moment, which of course everybody's favorite. You can tell by how excited I am now, my tone of my voice, is we currently have active the Piccolo Explosive Chain Battle. So, Goresh, I know you have your ongoing war with Toon every time there's a new chain battle. I believe last time I saw, you are again in the lead. What is your high score and how did you find this one in comparison to the previous ones?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't really call it a war when the same side wins every time. But in terms of this chain battle, I would say this is not as bad as some of the other ones we've had before because for the super class slots, right, you just use Super Saiyan Gohan and stuff like that. So it could have been way worse. It could have been, like hit or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this one is not that bad for super class. Extreme class, I mean, it's just basically just cells, right? That's what most people are using. And then you want to combo that with Garlic Jr., both the SSR and TUR versions of the Garlic Jr. So that's what you want to do there. I think my high score right now is like 150. It's either 153 or 154. But I'm pretty much set as top 1% no matter what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I mean, it's just another chain battle at the end of the day. You go get your rewards, you pull level 1 HP skill orbs, and that's it.
Yep, that sounds about right. Tystra, how's it going for you with the Piccolo chain battle?
It's not terrible. Like, I'm averaging, like, my normal, like, placement. I'm always in, like, 10%. So I did, like, 109 million, which was, like, amazing for me, I guess. But I haven't really tried much after that. I need to do my 5 battles today and get to 1 billion, hopefully, just to get the missions. But it's the same thing. I'm just going to get, crap pulled from those treasure chests, so...
Yeah, I think out of all of the, because I'm not one to save up all my points till the end. I just spend them as I go, and I think I've gotten one decent skill orb so far, which was a gold level 4 crit, level 1 dodge. But everything else has been not so good so far. So, good old chain battle.
Is it just me, or has there been just a rapid fire barrage of like a million good int units? Because like we got Goku and Piccolo. Before that, we got the Namek Goku and third form Frieza. Before that, we got Evolution Blue. Like, there's like 500 zillion different like top tier int units, and I don't have any skill for the int units. Like, I'm dry here.
Don't forget the exchange Vegeta and Goku too.
Yeah, them too. Yep. The exchange Vegeta and Goku. I feel like because I've always been like, oh yeah, I'm saving up for the int skill for this character, and I always push it back, and I push it back again and again and again. I'm still trying to get an int skill orb for my third form Frieza, and we have like 4 other units in the queue now. It's like, all right, well, I'm never gonna get through this.
It's okay. To balance it out, we got Inkabe who sucks. So
Had to get
because
the
they wanted
in there
AGL
again.
to stop being the best typing in the game. So now they're trying to overload with int.
We're about to get like a mega busted heroes unit, and he's gonna be int.
Yeah, probably. Well, speaking of mega busted int units, we also have coming very soon to Global the most exciting EZA of the recent history, and that is, of course, the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan EZA. Am I being sarcastic or am I being serious? You tell me. So, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's EZA definitely caused a little bit of a stir, shall we say, when he came out on JP. I think his EZA, I think, changed a lot of people's perspective when a lot of people used to say, all he needs is defense, and then he will be great. And then all he got was defense, and then everybody complained. So, Minato, as a JP player, I'm assuming that you have in Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and have played with him. Tell all the global players out there what you think of the EZA for Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
I think he's really good. I would say he's not like one of the busted amazing units in the game, like LR Broly or something like that. He's very usable though. I like his link sets. I like the amount of category teams he's on. I feel like defensively he's very consistent. Offensively could vary depending on the orbs you get. I kind of get the bad rep that he's got because he's not as powerful, say, as LR Broly, which I feel like was a mistake for them to make, of course. In terms of these other past EZAs, just not really being nearly as good as him, except for probably Goku and Frieza. But I would say because of that, people compare him to SR Broly but act like he's bad. He's not bad in any way, shape, or form. he's still a very good option for many of his teams. And I kind of like, he's very key consistent still because of that key +1 that he gets on his passive per key sphere obtained. I do wish they had more offense though, because he's hitting around like 4.5 million attack stats, which is good, but again, you still do kind of compare him to LR Broly, Goku, and Frieza, and those type of units. I feel like even physical LR Bardock kind of hits harder than him sometimes, unless you get really lucky with your orbs, which is
Majin
unfortunate.
Vegeta does too, I would say.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of feel like him and Majin Vegeta are kind of on the same wavelength. It depends more so if you prefer defense or offense, though.
So Goresh, are you excited for this EZA to come? Do you see yourself using this Int Gohan on your teams once he gets his EZA?
No, I have a bad history with this unit.
Oh.
Yeah, when I tried to pull him initially on global, not a good
Oh
time.
god, yeah, I remember his that debut banner. Oof.
I don't really care. So let's move on to the actual busted EZA.
Wait, okay, well, so yeah, there's another EZA coming soon on Global at the same time, in fact, and you can actually prepare for that one right now. That is, of course, the physical Sin Shenron. So, Goresh, as you're obviously excited to talk about him, why don't you take it away and tell us about physical Sin Shenron's EZA?
I mean, he just enters the battlefield, does his 2 million attack stat, and that's it. He dies. Isn't that what he does?
He's a great addition to the amazing GT Bosses team, right?
I mean, I'm being an idiot, but like actually, like he's solid defensively. He's gonna come in. He has like over 200k defense. I would assume on most rotations, right? His attack stat is very bad. Like we're talking like actually, like when I say 2 million, I'm not even like that's not even like an exaggeration. It's actually like 2 million. He has a lot of crit chances with the way that they built his EZA passive, but I don't see a universe where he's a good main rotation unit for any team that he's on. So
Yeah, he seems like because obviously Global, without us having the LR Shadow Dragon army, I mean, even on JP, the GT Bosses team is not exactly a top tier team, but I mean, he helps out that team a little bit, but let's be honest, who is running that team at the moment? That's
yeah, it just baffles me that they release the EZAs for AGL, Goten, and Physical Trunks, and they release this in Shenron in the same year.
Yeah, because obviously there is no other Sin Shenron. There's a whole bunch of Gotens and Trunkses, and they got those great EZAs, and then this essentially only SSR Sin Shenron, and his EZA does seem like a little bit of a miss, but like I said, you can actually farm up the medals for this now. So he is a sub EZA, so he Extreme Z awakens with the EZA medals for STR Omega Shenron. So obviously if you did that EZA originally to EZA STR Omega, you have to replay the stages in order to get the medals again to EZA Sin Shenron. When the EZA drops, which is in a few days' time, that event comes back, and obviously it requires stamina to replay the stages. But if you go into the Portal of Memories now, you can use those red EZA keys, which, if you're like me, you've probably never used them before or just used them very sparingly. You can use those to farm up the medals now so that you don't have to waste stamina later. So obviously if you're someone who likes to make the most of your stamina with things like link leveling or farming certain events for items or whatever, that's a good way to do that without having to spend any stamina. So, but there you go. So jokes aside, I mean, Gohan, as we said, he is good. He gets clowned on a little bit just because, unfortunately, he's on the lower end of the LR EZAs thanks to some of the amazing ones that we've seen. But we do actually have some pretty exciting stuff coming up on Global in terms of some new cards that are about to hit. But of course, I say exciting stuff coming, but they are tied to everyone's other favorite game mode, which is the World Tournament. So we have a World Tournament coming up on Global. And this one, I mean, in the notes that I put, is this the best World Tournament ever coming up on Global? Because we have the Tech Super Saiyan Gohan as the reward card, who's really good. We have a new friend, local pool, LR, which is the Tau. We have a whole bunch of Awakenings that are super good. And we have new Dragon Ball Saga banner cards and Awakenings. So who wants to start us off talking about the Tech Super Saiyan Gohan?
Well, first of all, before we even jump into that, I was gonna say this is the best world tournament just because it's allowing us to skip other world tournaments.
I was gonna say that it combines 3 into 1, so you have to do less. What a JP shaft! I had to go through all 3 of those, and you guys only have 1. I hate to see it. What can I say?
So,
But I think
Minato,
that's like-
you have
yeah.
this Gohan, I assume.
Yes.
So tell us about this Gohan.
Very good. He's a nice defensive stacker. I found him very nice in the God events. You know, he's on a bunch of category teams. I feel like I wish he had prepared for battle, but that's really my only gripe with the units. He has a very clear purpose to be, used in difficult events with one enemy, like legendary Goku event, Vegeta events, God events, and he stacks up pretty nicely from what I found with the damage reduction on top of that. I like him. He's probably one of the better, if not the best, World Tournament reward card. Definitely very up there, and I like his design.
Tystra, what are your thoughts on the Tech Super Saiyan Gohan?
This is gonna be a card that's gonna be absolutely busted. I feel once it gets into its awakening. Just from looking at his passive already, it's kind of absurd for just a normal UR card. So, but honestly, like I like the tech side of Dokkan Battle. I always like using Super Tech and Extreme Tech just because it gets a lot of flack for being terrible. But I like tech units. And I want to see this unit actually get really good once it awakens because it's already as good as more than any of the World Tournament cards that we've gotten as a UR. Or at least that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like they're sort of making up for the fact that these World Tournament cards take so long to get awakenings that they're just coming out of the gate. I mean, he's better than half the World Tournament cards that already have awakenings without even having one, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, he's looking pretty good.
I would
And the
say,
fact that
honestly, at this point, they should just bring out these cards with their awakenings just already. I don't see why not.
No, I agree. But the fact that he's an infinite defense stacker too, to me, is pretty dope. I like being able to infinitely stack defense just so in that way I don't have to worry about it too much.
Yeah, he's looking real good. So obviously he is the reward card. So even if you're somebody who doesn't want to spend a huge amount of time grinding the World Tournament, as long as you get to the 23 million points mission, you will get a guaranteed copy of him. Also, I believe, I'm just looking here he does have a farmable super attack as well. So you really only need to get the 1 copy if you do want to try him out for yourself. But the other new thing that we have coming in terms of an actual brand new card is we are getting a new reward LR, which is the Extreme STR Mercenary Tau. So, Goresh, why don't you start us off? Give us your thoughts on Mercenary Tau.
Yeah, so one of the OG villains. I would actually say he's the first real villain of Dragon Ball is Mercenary Tau. But I think they did a good job with this Mercenary Tau. I mean, you look at his passive and it's really hard to tell how good he is just because all the numbers are so weird. It's attack plus 568.23 whenever you get a key sphere or something. It's like a very specific number. But he's actually really good. Like once you actually start using him and stuff like that, I feel like they did a good job with giving him the extra key mechanic in his passive, right? Because take a look at his links. That's easily the biggest weak point about this unit. What does he have? Let me just take a look. Crane School, Supreme Warrior, Coward, Brutal Beatdown, Dodon Ray, Shattering the Limit, and Legendary Power. Is that a good link set? What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. Dodon Ray, you can use him with R Shen,
Yeah, with SR Crane Hermit. But I feel like because he's not going to link up with a lot of the Dragon Ball Saga characters either, because he doesn't have the patented Guidance of the Dragon Balls and the other one, the Incredible Adventure link, right? So that's another big negative about this character. But I mean, they're trying to make up for that with the extra key passive, right? He has the LR Gohan effect in there.
Yep.
He has an active skill. The art is really good. I think he has my favorite personal OST in the game. So aesthetically, he's pretty cool. His defense is very, very high. He almost has 15,000 defense at Rainbow. So even though these are flat numbers, he's actually still going to be able to hit pretty decently. He has the crit effects in his super attack effects too, which is like the 6th anniversary units have that. So he has a lot of busted mechanics. If you actually think about it, he has the 6th anniversary crit chances in his super attacks plus the LR Gohan mechanic. That's pretty insane to think about.
Yeah, that is pretty good for a the local reward LR card. So obviously, I'm just double checking the listing here. So you have to finish in the top 150 in your local to get one copy of him. So obviously, depending on when you start and how you get matched up, that may be a little bit more difficult if you don't want to spend a huge amount of time playing it. But yeah, he's definitely worth the investment, and it's going to be interesting to see.
You're not a true Dokkan battle player unless you get number one local, get 2 of them. Just saying.
Yeah, shout out to I love remembering this. It's a few world tournaments ago now, but shout out to our boy Tiger, who a couple of world tournaments ago was in the same local bracket as the person who was number 1 overall in the world tournament. So completely blocked from first place in the local. So shout out to Tiger. But so we also have a couple of really strong awakenings coming out. 2 units that we've been waiting to get awakenings for quite a long time, or at least I have certainly, which is the Tech Perfect Cell and the STR Great Saiyaman. So Minato, why don't you start us off by talking about the Tech Cell? Because if I remember rightly, the last time you and I did a little something for 5-9, I know you like this unit, so why don't you tell us about Tech Cell?
Yeah, of course you'd bring that up. This Tech Cell is actually really, really good. He's just an extreme class support, 2 key and 30% attack and defense. You know, you can triple super against multiple enemies. He has big bad bosses, shocking speed, shining to eliminate other cell links. He works very well with them. He's on a lot of category teams. If I'm not mistaken, he's on like 9 or 10 category teams as well. And he's just a very, very good unit. I mean, there's not really much else to say about him. A great support and floating unit. Though I feel like, if you get unlucky, you can get caught like I did in that one video. But he's very good. I like his design.
Yeah, just for anyone who is slightly confused, if he takes a super attack with type disadvantage in slot 3, it will cause you to lose a race. But obviously, he is a very good support unit. And then obviously the Super STR Great Saiyaman Super Saiyan 2. Tystra, what do you think of this guy?
I like him. I wish I pulled more of him instead of that tech cell, because I pulled like 8 of that tech cell through World Tournament. He's really good. Attack and defense plus 70% plus an additional 10% with each attack performed. Build him up with additional, you'll be good. Yeah, like honestly, he's really good. He's in a lot of teams as well. I think he's in 10. So same as Cell. He does really well. I like what they're doing with the awakenings of some of these new units, or some of these old units turning into new units. But yeah, I like him. The fact that he also kind of works as a support in some instances, like I could dig it.
Yeah, he's definitely a card I've been looking forward to. The only downside to him, because I'm really looking forward to using him on the Super Saiyan 2 team, because that is a team I've mentioned a few times. I quite like that team. I know it's not the most powerful category in the game or anything. The only downside is he is a super class allies support unit. So obviously once that Tech Vegeta transforms into Margin Vegeta, he's not going to be getting the support from him. But he is a very good unit, definitely worth using on the teams that he fits on. Minato, what were you going to say?
Yeah, one thing I also want to point out is that his link set is really, really good. He has, Saiyan lineage, prepare for battle, and shocking speed. That's an amazing linkage for that hybrid Saiyan team specifically. And what could I say? Another Tech Ultimate Gohan buff. Hybrids stay winning.
Yeah, Dragon Ball likes their hybrids in their games apparently. So, and then of course, speaking of actually technically some more hybrid Saiyans, although they're not on the hybrid Saiyans category because of course they are in disguise, but we also have the awakening for the physical mighty mask. So Goresh, I'm sure you're very excited about this one. Why don't you tell us about the physical mighty mask?
Yeah, they're pretty mighty.
Well, there you go.
I mean, they're all right. I mean, I don't think they're like anything too insane. They have this weird gimmick where they like have a guaranteed dodge, right, when their HP is 50% or below, I think is what it is.
They have 2 actually.
Yeah. I was gonna say, then they have another one, right, when they have 30% or less HP. But they are, I think they start the turn with 150% attack and defense, and then they have a 50% increase on their super attack effect as well. Actually, yeah, they get an additional 150% buff against one enemy. So they're actually starting the turn if you're up against one enemy with 300% attack and defense. But it's the typical free-to-play curse where you see these like, oh my god, he's starting the turn with 700% attack and defense, but his defense stat is like 2,000. Like that's typically what happens, right? I remember when STR Demon King Piccolo came out, and he was like, oh my god, he starts with 200% attack, and then like he was doing like average damage because his stats were so bad. So that's really how they get you, is like they put these really big numbers in the passive, but then their stats are just like really bad.
Also, what is the deal with that? Because I actually didn't realize until introducing this part and making that comment. But yeah, they're only on World Tournament and Majin Buu Saga, even though obviously we all know there's Goten and Trunks in disguise. But then we have units in the game like the heroes, the Great Saiyaman 3, who is, you can't tell who it is, but I guess unless you guess because they're using a sword. But Great Saiyaman 3 is actually Trunks, and he is on the Vegeta family category. So these guys are only on World Tournament and Majin Buu Saga.
Yeah, their own unit like that.
Spoiler alerts.
If you look at
If you look at Goku family.
Exactly.
Yeah, all great Saiyaman units are on like Hybrid Saiyans, Goku family, stuff like that. So I never got that. It was one thing I was gonna bring up. It's my pet peeve about the unit. It's just an unnecessary shaft for them when they could be on so many different teams. And honestly, I found that actually pretty nice for the God event. If there's an event you want to use these guys, I feel like the God event, at least as a floater, could be really, really useful because of their guaranteed dodge utility.
If they were going to make this guy only on 2 teams, and let's be real, you're not using him on the Majin Buu team. He's really only going to be good on the World Tournament team, which is not even a team. So like, where do you use him? They should have made him like actually like 800% attack and defense, and like guaranteed dodges, and like stacking and like support, or like just give him like the most ridiculous kit ever, because you're not going to use him anywhere. Like where's he used?
Yeah, because it goes back to what we were saying when we were talking about Hit and God Goku, is they're only on a few teams and they have a lot of competition on the teams that they're on, so they made them really, really good. Whereas these guys, I mean, World Tournament, no one ever runs World Tournament. Are you going to use them on Majin Buu Saga unless they're ridiculously good? Probably not. Somebody did point out something in the chat, which I think is a great point as well. The unit has the Super Saiyan link, but they're not on Hybrid Saiyans. Or I think they might be the only unit in the game that is not on Hybrids or Pure Saiyans that has the Super Saiyan link. So
yeah,
that's kind of weird.
The best leader for the World Tournament category is Yamu and Spopovich, 77%. Is that good?
Yeah. I have been complaining about World Tournament not having a leader because everyone's like, we need to boost the Namekians. I'm like, no, we need to give World Tournament an actual lead.
Well, both of them
that's
help,
what we
but yeah, World Tournament is in the dumps right now.
Yep.
No,
Maybe
absolutely.
you forgot one unit. A unit that has a Super Saiyan link that is not on the pure Hybrid Saiyans is Bio Broly. So that's very important,
Damn.
We're gonna get Dokkan Fest one day.
How could I
can't
forget
forget about that.
Bio Broly?
This is where we need to bring in the Ma Junior versus Goku fight, do a full celebration around it, and then World Tournament becomes like the best team.
Yes, that's what I've been clamoring
New
for.
Year's,
But no,
That is legit.
instead, we'll keep bringing out categories like Special Pose and Heavenly Events instead of making a World Tournament or Namekians
Bond
category.
of friendship. Nice.
But yeah, so
Saviors.
speaking of, I guess it ties in the World Tournament with the Dragon Ball Saga. So there are a couple of new units and a new awakening for the Dragon Ball Saga. I feel like these are definitely a little bit lower in hype, even if the characters themselves are cool, because the Dragon Ball Saga banner, I think, is in desperate need of a rework. The fact that you can still only do single summons on it pretty much puts me off summoning on it. I've got so many tickets, but I don't want to sit and go through like 50 single summons. But we have the physical Jackie Chun is getting an awakening. Minato, have you got this guy on JP?
Yes, he's very good. Once he's able to get that super attack off. Because of how his passive works, it's kind of multiplicative. So he gets that up to 80% start of turn, then 150% when doing a super attack. So its stats can get actually pretty solid, even though he only has those free-to-play stats of 6.6k defense is not really the best defensive stat, I'd say. But once you're able to get his passive build up, he's very good, especially considering he's also giving Kamehameha allies 3 and 30% attack. Very solid unit. I like how he's, working. His weakness is his links, though, but that's really it to me, honestly.
Yeah, Kamehameha is a team that definitely is lacking in like specific support units, so definitely seems quite interesting for that. But of course, the problem with these cards is even if you have played the World Tournament a bit and you get some of those tickets, you're not necessarily going to have. I think I do have this guy, but I'm not sure if I even have dupes for him. But and then also we are getting added a new base form Goku with the turban and the umbrella. And we're also getting an Anin card, which is a character, if you're not familiar at all with the Dragon Ball Saga, then you probably don't even know who this is. So, Goresh, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Anin card and your thoughts on her?
Yeah, she's interesting. So she's a unit that is actually like the opposite of Tao. What I just said for him was he doesn't have like the incredible adventure guidance to the Dragon Ball links, like the patented Dragon Ball link set. She actually does have those two links. So along with Battlefield Diva, she actually could make a good partnership with Launch, I think, on the Dragon Ball team. Or the Pepe Gal team, I guess. I think she's on there.
She's not on Dragon Ball
Gals.
Saga, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's weird.
Oh, she's on Pepe Gals, though, right? Yeah, she has to be.
Yeah, she's on Pepe Gals
She
and
is.
Realm of Gods.
Yeah, because she actually buffs Pepe Gals and Realm of Gods with her passive as a support effect. It kind of reminds me of the Goku Black World Tournament reward card that buffed like two different categories, and like you could stack them on top of each other if you're in both teams. I guess she's going to be a good support unit for Vados. Like I don't know who else fits on both categories besides her and Vados, but
I don't think
she's
Vados is on
Vados
Pepe
isn't even on
Gals.
Pepe Gals. I don't think there's actually
Oh,
a single
okay.
unit outside of her who is actually on both categories.
I didn't realize Vados wasn't even on there. Okay, well, yeah, I guess herself. It's a weird combo: Pepe Gals and Realm of Gods. Like I don't know. But she also heals a little bit at the end of the turn, or sorry, start of the turn. It's not that much. I think it's like 5 or 6% HP, and that's pretty much it. She's pretty basic. Other than that,
And of course, they suffer from the same kind of problem as the actual World Tournament reward cards themselves, which is, of course, the fact that they don't have Awakenings yet, and who knows how long it will be until they get them. But a lot of things going on with this tournament. I believe we also have, I can't find the details on the wiki. I don't know if the actual mission details have been leaked, but there are also going to be missions for this World Tournament. I'm assuming they'll just be tied to cumulative score like a lot of the other ones are, where you will actually be able to get copies of the LR Demon King Piccolo, because of course he is going to no longer be the local pool reward card. I don't know if any of you guys, have you seen what those missions are? I couldn't find the
I
details on.
think it was
So,
like 10
what did-
world tournaments
10
and
and
50
30.
world tournaments.
Oh,
10 and
No,
30.
it's 10 and 50. It's 10 and 50.
Okay. Yeah,
You
It
have
is
to
10
get
and 50?
wins. Yeah.
50 is actually
they're
a
in,
lot.
They're in the Rizzi space.
I mean, yeah, 50 is a lot for sure, but it's not undoable. That's for sure. Like you could get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I guess 10 wins. I guess if you're somebody who's in a position where you only need one more copy, then obviously being able to get one from 10 wins is pretty good. But 50 is, it's not, I believe it's only 50 overall. So you don't have to, someone said in the chat, if you get to 49 wins and then lose, it's not winning streak. As far as I know. That would be hilarious.
The question I have is this something they're only going to do for Demon King Piccolo, or are they going to start adding other LRs from past rewards to this? Because I think the reason why they're doing it for Demon King Piccolo is because they've done less world tournaments with him as the reward, just because we're accelerating the timeline for global. But it'd be interesting, right? I mean, eventually they're going to do easy A's for like LR Piccolo and all the world tournament LRs. So I think a way that they could speed up the process, or at least make it easier for people to pull these characters, as opposed to just, praying that you pull them from the ticket banner, is you give them some sort of reward, right? Maybe it's, again, if they want to do 50 wins or whatever it's going to be. 50 wins to get a copy, and then over the course of a few world tournaments, you could work your way up to rainbowing them. But I think that's a decent option. I mean, again, 50 is not a small number. That's still a decent time investment.
Because, even when, the last time I properly grinded the World Tournament, I still don't go as flat out as some people, but even with a good solid day of grinding, it might take you all of the first day just to get 50 wins. So it's definitely a lot if you're somebody who doesn't want to commit a huge amount of time to it. But like I said, if you only need the one copy, or even if you need a couple, 10 wins to get one extra copy is pretty nice. But as Goresh alluded to, we don't know at this point. This could be something going forward. Who knows? Maybe every world tournament from now on, you'll be able to get the previous LR as a mission reward. We won't know until the next tournament comes out, but it does seem like, yeah, that would be a good reason, the fact that we're sort of cutting out a couple of tournaments where you could have gotten him as a prize. But we will have to wait and see whether that is going to be a thing in the future or not. So that about wraps it up for the list of topics for this week. I'm just going to very briefly mention it because we've talked about heroes on, I think, the last maybe 3 episodes in a row. There is going to be a special live stream for the 11th anniversary tomorrow, or at least it's tomorrow my time. I don't know, it might still be the same day depending on where you are in the world.
It's in 8 hours from now.
Okay, there you go. 8 hours from now. It's very likely that we may see something revealed for Dokkan, but obviously we don't know anything about that just yet. So we obviously will have to wait and see. And then I'm sure, make sure you guys check out the channel. I'm sure we will do a video going over everything that gets revealed. So since it's literally right around the corner and we speculated on it a couple of weeks in a row, we will skip over it this week and wait and see what that live stream reveals. So that means we are at the point of the episode where we are going to go away for a very short break. If you want to leave us some questions in the chat, we will answer them when we come back. So make sure you start posting them in the chat now, because I keep an eye out for them during the break. And once we come back, if I don't see any good ones, then, you know, we only get 1 or 2 in. So make sure you get those questions in now, and we will be back very soon. Yo, welcome back, everybody. So we're going to go through a couple of the questions here in the chat to round out the episode. We are going to start with one here from Steve Tax 101, who asks, with the 2 most recent categories, do you think categories will be as arbitrary as these 2 seem? Like, what exactly determines a high-speed battle?
Nothing.
Because I saw a tweet. It was from someone from 5-9, and I can't remember who it was. But essentially, like, isn't every single battle probably after even, well, maybe even before, but after the Saiyan saga, technically a high speed battle? So, Goresh, what does the logic seem to be behind this category based on who's in it?
I actually don't know. There's no like sentence you can say where it's like, oh yeah, that fits every single character in this category and precludes everyone else that's not in here from being in here. I mean, I'm just waiting for like the tough warrior category to come out. Like, what is that going to look like?
Well, yeah, there you go.
I was thinking about it. I feel like it might be like a category of every unit who has shocking speed. Because if you really look through it, a lot of the units on the team do have shocking speed, whether transformed or not. So maybe that could be kind of what they're thinking of. Other than that, I don't know.
But there's shocking speed characters that aren't on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait,
it's the best that I can think of. You know,
wait, does every character on it have shocking speed?
At least most of them do. Like, I'm looking at some of the units, I'm seeing pretty much every single one of them have shocking speed. So that's probably what it is.
But some of the units who have shocking speed are not on there. So
yeah, I don't know which unit might not be on there, but
yeah, it definitely does seem like an arbitrary category, because like if Demon King Piccolo is on there, then everyone from Dragon Ball Z onwards would be on there in theory. So definitely a bit of a strange one. But yeah, so we have one from MX Jolds. I like this one because it's one that I've kind of speculated about potentially being a thing, because we've not seen it before. But he says, do you think Int Super Saiyan 3 Bardock could get his EZA during the Heroes celebration? Because he is technically a crossover unit. So what do you think?
Potentially.
That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, he's not a Heroes unit, right?
Uh-huh.
He's on the Heroes category, is he?
Nope.
I don't think he would just because of that, but I could see him getting an EZA in the campaign that's next for JP just to coincide with it.
Yeah, that could make sense. Because yeah, I feel like, because obviously Heroes has very much in the past been limited to only being Heroes things, but it definitely would be interesting. I mean, he's probably the prime example, but it would be an interesting thing to see, like an actual just normal Dokkan Fest like EZA during a Heroes celebration. Because
I'm still trying to figure out the point of the Heroes category when the crossover exists. No.
Yeah. I will say though, like,
They don't care.
seeing that unit get an EZA would be dope, just because of the fact that he hasn't entirely aged all that well. I don't think anybody actually uses him unless you're using a Super Saiyan 3 team, which, yeah.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think
I wouldn't even use him on that team because there's just run the Super Saiyan 2 Angel Goku.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's aged okay just because of the support that he gives, but he can't like do any damage and he can't take a hit because he also seals, right? He has a chance
Yeah.
to seal, so that's
Like
bad.
medium chance. I don't know. I always hated when they introduced that medium chance to seal.
He's
Well-
about 35% valuable.
When that guy released, he was like destroying everything. Like nothing could stand in front of him. Like, he was ridiculously overpowered when that Bardock came out.
Right.
So
Yeah,
like
he was
that
very,
that
very good.
that seal chance on that they gave him was literally just like an added bonus on whatever else he was doing. But right now, yeah, he needs help.
I feel like that's like the number one thing you change when he gets an easy A, because I mean you can't even seal in half the events now anyway, so that definitely needs to change to just a guaranteed seal. But so we've obviously talked about the World Tournament upcoming. Breadboy97 says, what are some big changes that you could see working well for a new and improved World Tournament?
I would say just remove preliminaries at the
Yeah.
very least. I hate like if it would. I feel like it would be so much smoother if it was just a one-person fight every single time, rather than having 3 AIs moving across the map and fighting each other, and then you're just like on the other side of the map, and it's super annoying and tedious. Like that's the worst part for a world tournament in terms of like the actual like gameplay part of it, the preliminaries.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. I would say the biggest thing for me to kind of go off of that is stop having the AI run away from me when they have more points than me. That gets so annoying. It's like don't run away, you coward. Just fight me.
I think there's too many necessary changes that need to happen for the World Tournament to warrant a revamp rather than them just removing it. Like I don't think if they wanted to make all the changes that they'd have to make it like better and fun and stuff like that, they're better off just starting from scratch and making a new mode altogether.
Yeah, true. It needs a lot of work, but yeah, I think whether they remove the preliminaries or not, I don't think it's necessarily the preliminaries itself, like the idea of having to fight a couple of other teams, but even for just all the stages, just remove the map screen completely. Just make it like an easy A where you go into it and you just go straight into the fight against your opponent, because I feel like that would take away quite a lot of the tedium straight away if you were able to just do that. So
And if you wanted to add to that, you could honestly, like, you know how they have the items and the support items as well. You could literally just add those as reward for clearing that stage and like take away a little bit of it. So like,
Go on.
oh, I was just gonna say, like, for some people, like, I'll farm the gold training items, you know, from there just because I need more training items. And instead of like farming and getting like 7 of those capsules, just give me like 3 of them for completing the stage without having to go through the map. Like, I would take that over taking the time to go through the entire map just to get those items.
yeah, I would agree. Definitely needs a revamp. JP just managed to go through theirs. Global's got ours coming up, but yeah, maybe one day we could see some interesting improvements, because it's we meme all the time in the arguments about Chain Battle versus World Tournament, but regardless of what you think when it comes to that subject, they're both not very good game modes. So hopefully one day it will have some sort of update. But there you go. So that is going to do it for us for this episode 56, the Dokkan Battle Podcast. Time to make the donuts. I have been your host, the Masked Ningen. Shout out to my guests, Minato, Goresh, and Tystra. And of course, a big shout out to Troco for manning the boards behind the scenes. If you did come in late or we missed any of the episode, remember they will be uploaded in full on the YouTube channel tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you are subscribed on the 59 Gaming mobile. And keep an eye out on Twitter for all of our updates. Make sure you follow us over there as well. So from all of us at 59 Gaming, that is going to be it for this week. And we will see you all again soon. Peace out.